Namaste. Welcome. Today we're going to do a short 15-minute practice that's going to work your upper body and shoulders. So let's get right into it. Take a breath in. Fully exhale. Feel your sitting bones on the ground. Try to consciously relax your shoulders on the exhale. And we're going to start putting our feet into the butterfly pose. Soles of the feet together. Let your knees drop to the sides. Grab your toes. If it feels comfortable, you can pull your heels closer to your groin. And we're going to settle in here for a second. And after that, we're going to bend our elbows and sink down low. Put your elbows on your calves somewhere. And try to consciously relax your shoulders here as well. We're going to stay for at least 10 breaths in each pose. Notice that your body is sinking lower with each and every breath. Notice that your hips are opening, that your knees are coming closer to the ground. Try to consciously relax your shoulders here. Couple more breaths. And we're going to let go of our toes and stretch forward, putting our palms on the ground. And we're going to consciously relax our shoulders as well. Don't try to reach too far. The objective here is to relax. Couple more breaths. And we are going to come down very slowly. Take a breath in the upright position. And then start getting into the straddle. Open your legs. Find a good, comfortable position so that you can keep your spine straight. Take a breath here. Reach toward your toes or toward your ankles. And look straight for 10 more breaths. Notice how your neck is engaged as you're gazing straight in front of you. Notice how your arms are lengthening. Try to take deep breaths. Even though your belly is now somewhat constricted, 3 more. And then we're gonna let go of our feet. I'm gonna turn so that you can see better and get into the staff pose. keeping my spine straight and my shoulders relaxed. And from here, I'm going to get into the forward bend, reaching as far as I can. And you have your own reach as far as I can for today. Maybe it's your ankles today, maybe it's your toes. I'm going to clasp my ankles or my toes with my feet there, with my hands. Take a breath, and then do nothing for 10 more breaths. Sinking down low. Feeling my face getting closer to my knees. Feeling the whole back side of my body stretching and lengthening. And once I'm done with my 10 breaths here, I'm going to gently let go of my toes. Come back to the staff pose. And then come onto my back. There I'm going to spend a moment settling in because I want to make sure that both of my shoulder blades are on the mat and that my pelvis is relatively symmetrical. And once I'm settled in, I'm going to bend my legs, pull my knees close to the chest, grab my toes, let my sacrum float above the ground and come into the happy baby pose with the soles of my feet pointing toward the sky. And here again, that's a hip opener. But what you would want to do is consciously relax your shoulders and start breathing, taking at least 10 breaths here as well. Notice the subtle movement of your shoulders with each and every breath. We're going to take a couple more here. And I'm going to let go of my toes. I'm not going to lower my feet or my legs to the ground. And start getting into the shoulder stand here. Supporting myself with my elbows in a triangle shape so that your elbows point to the sides. Just keep breathing here. And once you're done with your 10 breaths, keep rolling backwards to get into the plow. Let your feet touch the ground. Keep your arms parallel to your body. And once you're done with your 10 breaths, come up and roll back into Sukhasana. Take a breath here so that your head does not spin from such a fast transition. Take a breath fully relax your shoulders again. And from here, we're gonna start getting into the squat first. And from the squat onto all fours into the tabletop pose. Find a good comfortable position for your knees and for your hands, giving yourself as much support as you can before gently rolling your body forward to get into the upward facing dog. Here, you don't want to lower your pelvis on the ground. You just want to float above the mat, looking straight ahead. Feel those shoulders. Feel your lower back for 10 breaths. And once you're done with your 10 breaths, we're going to lower our pelvis onto the ground and lift into the cobra. You have two options here. You can do just a static pose, stay for 10 breaths, or you can accompany this with the yummy cobra push-ups, lowering your chest onto the ground, spreading your elbows apart, and coming back into the cobra. I'm gonna do one more push-up and then come back. Finish my 10 breaths. And then dig my toes into the ground and go back into the tabletop. And from the tabletop, I'm gonna check my position for stability and do the ultimate shoulder exercise, which is the thread the needle. I'm gonna lift one of my hands from the mat, turn it palm up, and thread it under the opposite arm while simultaneously lowering my body onto the ground. Your head's gonna give you additional support. I'm gonna stay for 10 breaths here as well. As with any targeted practice, what you want to do, you want to relax the targeted area first. Then you want to work on its strength. And then you want to take the targeted area through the range of motion available to it. As you're finishing your 10 breaths, just notice that's what we did. Relax the shoulders, worked on their strength, and now we're twisting. I'm done with this side. Coming back to the tabletop, I'm going to do it on the other side. I often get asked whether or not in thread the needle you should keep your supporting arm straight. You could if you want to, but if it feels more comfortable to gently bend your elbow, that's also an option. Do whatever works for your body. And take 10 breaths and thread the needle here on the other side. Done with my 10 breaths. Back to the tabletop. I'm gonna sway my body backwards. Come into the Malasana. Jump up. Stay in the forward bend for a second. And then without leaving the forward bend, I'm gonna grab my elbows, come into the ragdoll, and just let my shoulders relax again. To deepen the ragdoll, you can start swaying side to side. See your whole back side of the body lengthening. Stay here for 10 breaths. I'm gonna stop swaying, just hang in here. And I'm gonna let my arms drop. Stay in the bend for a second. And then I'm gonna start opening my feet wide. I'm gonna turn so that you can see. But you don't have to change the position on your mat. And from here, without really leaving the bend, I'm gonna come into the wide-legged forward fold. Grab my toes or my ankles. And just stay here, trying to consciously relax my shoulders with each and every breath. Notice what happens to your shoulder blades as you sink deeper into the bend. And without leaving the forward fold, I'm going to slide or walk my hands to the center. Support myself with one palm and open into the twisted forward fold, looking at the arm that goes up, trying to see the tips of my fingers, and spend 10 breaths here as well, adding the twist element to our shoulder workout. As you're taking breaths, see if you can twist your body slightly more with each and every breath. And after having done 10 on one side, close and do it on the other side. Open and just stay here for 10 breaths. See if you can deepen the twist. You don't need to. It sure feels yummy. And once you're done with this side, come back down and bending your knees slightly so that they don't get locked. Come up and start putting your feet together, shoulder width apart. Take a breath here. Take a moment. Don't rush. You've been head down for quite a while. You want to let your body a chance to get adjusted to the upright position. And from here, we're gonna get on our tippy toes. Just a couple of trial runs to get a feel of the balance. Feel free to adjust the position of your feet on the mat. And then once you feel comfortable, just hold it there for a second. Come down. Interlace your fingers in front of you with your palms pointing toward your body. And now we're going to accompany the lift with the upward stretch. Turning your palms outward with your fingers interlaced so that your palms look up. We're going to hold this here. It's a very simple thing and also a very effective thing for both your legs and your shoulders. It's okay if you're swaying a little bit. Come down to take a break. You can turn this into a dynamic exercise, lifting and lowering, lifting and lowering, lifting and lowering, or you can come back up and just balance here, stretching up for another couple of breaths before coming back down, letting your arms fall. Wiggle your fingers or circle your wrists here. Shrug your shoulders or roll your shoulders. Make them as loose as you can. Take a breath. And today's practice is complete. Thank you for doing it with me. Namaste.